This is the North End. This is the North End.
Hello, North Enders. It's Brian here. It's time for the 5 things we've learned about Spurs' 4-0 defeat of Leeds United at Ellen Road. Number 1, the players responded to Antonio Conte's outburst in the media. It was a questionable response from the manager. I had my problems with it. I think I agreed with much of what he was saying. I don't know how necessarily effective it was going to be when it comes to getting the club to do something different, especially when the window wasn't open. And then, of course, how are the players going to respond to this on the pitch and in the dressing room? He has to go back post this meeting, or sorry, this press conference, and then explain to his bosses essentially why he freaked out the way he did, and then of course reconvince the team that he's convinced he's going to be there. So I was a little skeptical. I wasn't quite sure how they would respond. It could have gone either way. Fortunately, it went the right way. We saw a very good response from the entire team. Really, I think it was a complete performance. Particularly the wing backs, I felt like finally did something, and I think that gets me to point number 2. So the second thing we learned is the wing backs who started this. It was Doherty on the right and Sessegnon again on the left. Sessegnon has played 3 games in a row now, starting to look a little bit like a player that, with a good run of games, which he's getting, he is starting to play the type of football that we would have expected him to play a couple seasons ago when he joined. Of course, he's had an injury record, poor injury record, and he went out on loan for a season as well. So this is the first time we've seen him in a Tottenham shirt start to really put some things together, and I think in this system it works really well for him. And he's starting to, the one-touch pass to hit Doherty on the first goal. Spurs' first goal was a great pass. It was a great run, great pass from Harry Winks as well. Shout out to him for that. To two wing backs linking up for the first goal showed something to me about where they are supposed to be on the pitch and how Conte wants them to work, and it worked quite well. So I was impressed by that. Number 3, Decky or Kulu or Kulusevsky, whatever you want to call him. Apparently, Kulu is not an appropriate term in some languages, so we're going to call him Decky. Decky, another wonderful performance. This is his 3rd time playing in the Premier League for Spurs. This is his 2nd start in a row. 3rd time playing, came on after 27 minutes a few games back. He is a young player, 21 years old. He's got 2 goals in the last 3 games. He's involved in a lot, an assist in the game previous against Man City. He's 21 years old. Like I said, very good player, looking exactly like what we need off that right side. Don't get me wrong, Lucas Moura is a good player, and he's done reasonably well for Spurs, but he's just so inconsistent. And what we're seeing here from Kulusevski is his ability to just continuously get in behind and make the other team incredibly uncomfortable. He's not fast, but he's fast thinking. He's a very smart player. And I think his football intelligence is coming through at a very young age, and that's a good sign for Spurs. So I think to see him getting goals and to see him creating the way he is, it's offering another dimension to that side of the pitch, which, despite Lucas Moura having a pretty good season so far, he's consistently not giving us that, and that's huge for us, because relying on Son and Kane a lot and starting to be able to rely on Kulusevski or Decky is very positive for Spurs, and I think he's going to be not just for the future, but for the rest of the season and going into next season with a full summer of training with Conte. We should see a really, really solid player next season. And that front 3, if we can keep them and everything goes well, that's juicy. Number 4. Now, this is probably the only one that isn't positive about this. And it's because of the last 3 performances from Hugo Lloris. Hugo Lloris has struggled with some really basic goalkeeping things that I'm surprised. It's sort of post signing the contract, and usually when players sign contracts, sometimes they do fall off a touch. But Hugo's such a professional; he's been doing this for so long. He's 10 years at Spurs. He's having a bit of a blip, and I think it's one of those blips that can really cost you games. Now, it didn't in this case. We were up 3-0, I believe, at the time when he came out and sort of just beyond no man's land, runs out. Completely misplays it, almost tries to dive to trip the player, which means he would have been sent off. And unfortunately, his head came to just before doing that, and he ended up backing off, and then if Davies came in and saved his butt with a great block, and of course Leeds just should score in this case, but just shows everything about where Leeds are at the moment. But Hugo Lloris, I don't know what this is, and this could be an age thing, and hopefully it's just a blip. But I do think, I mean, I said this in the summer, I'd like to see, and hopefully they are in the background, and this is something that Conte's been talking to them about. Now I know Conte trusts Hugo Lloris, but we need a solid backup, a player that is going to play and that is also going to be able to move on as the number one next season, potentially next season, if Lloris starts to fall off even more. So yeah, I mean, again, he didn't have to do didn't have to do a heck of a lot in this game, but when you see a player kind of doing that a few games in a row, a few howlers, goals were kind of his fault, and in this case, nearly something that would have been, again, wouldn't have changed the result, but starts to make you a bit nervous when he's playing and he's not controlling his box. He's making errors like that he should be making. I say the best for last in this one, and I don't know how you can argue with this. So if you don't support Spurs and you watch this video because you're a North Ender and you like the content we put out, please in the comments let me know if you disagree and why. But I don't think you can. But I'm a Spurs fan, so I got some bias. But Harry Kane right now is the best player on the planet.
Harry Kane right now is the best player on the planet.
Paul Forrest here from the North End management team. We would like to remind our viewers that the views and values presented today in this video by Mr. Brian Ireland do not necessarily reflect the views and values of the North End and our views on certain subjects. Please keep this in mind when making comments about the ridiculous claim that somehow Harry Kane is all of a sudden the best player in the world. Thank you, and I return you to this very strange opinion piece by Brian Ireland.
Harry Kane right now is the best player on the planet. Is a 9 goal scoring, but as a 10, he's the best playmaker in the league at the moment. And it's not even close. There isn't even a player that's remotely doing what he's doing day in and day out. Now, I recognize the beginning of the season, and this might be where there's some contention. Beginning of the season, his head was turned in the summer. What happened with City, we all know the details of that. Unfortunate situation, but he is now playing at his best. He is now unbelievably just gone up another level after last season, winning the Golden Boot, and then of course winning the getting the most assists as well, playmaker of the season. He's doing it again, but he's gone up another level. It is unbelievable. Some of the passes, that obviously the last pass for Son's goal at the end to get the fourth was incredible. The goal, his take from his goal, just that one touch on the left foot into the side netting. Unbelievable player, just so smart. He was dribbling through players. His passing, again, it's just, I think I said it already, but unreal. So yeah, hard to argue it. I would love to see some folks in the comments and see what they have to say about it. Maybe I'm again letting my bias get to me, but I think it's hard not to, considering how good he has been, especially in the game against City and Leeds. And of course, maybe there's something to be said when he has more space. He knows what to do with it. But yeah, get in the comments and argue. Those are my 5 things we learned about Tottenham Hotspur in the 4-0 defeat. 4-0 win against Leeds. Fantastic result for Spurs. Who knows what it means, though, moving forward. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe if you're new here. Looking forward to next time. Cheers. Have a good one.
This is the North End.